Hello everybody, it's Barb. Hello. Be with you in just a second. Hello. Are you guys here? Yeah, I see you. Okay. Chance is just talking away here. All right. Okay. I see you. Goodness sakes. It's a circus here today. Yes, it's a circus here. All right, come on. Okay. He's talking. Won't hush. The Siamese that won't be quiet. Can you imagine? Yes. The Siamese that won't be quiet. It's a shocker, I tell you. It's a shocker. Yeah, you got to keep your hind end this direction. Boy. You guys. I'm herding a cat today. I am herding a cat today. Hi, Cindy. Hello, Allie K. Hi, Janice, Catherine, Gretchen. It's so nice to have Gretchen. I don't recognize your name if you've been here before. I just don't recognize your name. Haven't seen it, I guess. Welcome. Hi, Noeet. Hello, Mary. Yeah, we have. Hello, Elvis is in the house. We have a good day and we have a sad day, all wrapped into one day. Yes, we do. All right, let's see if we can do this where you can see it. Here is Chance, the sponsor with the mostest. Let's see if I can get both of us on here. There we go. All right, put your pretty face there, will you? Can you just put your face on the camera? Anyway, hello, everybody. Hello. Hey, Janet, Tara, Miriam, Tracy, anybody I missed? So nice to see you. So, Chance is driving me crazy, which is not unusual. How about if we put you here where everybody can see your face? If you would stay put, it would be so nice. Anyway, yes. So, we have a sponsor now, folks. We have a sponsor because Charlie is no longer with us. I've been trying to prepare you and me both for this day, and it happened this week, and so we have lost our beautiful Charlieboy. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to see if we can do something to honor him. So a lot of you know that we lost him. I did put it out over social media, but of course not everybody follows me on social media. I don't know why you don't all follow me on social media. Can't imagine such a thing. Anyway, yes, it is Drama Free Friday with said sponsor, Chance, who is still hanging in there. He is now 15. Charlie was 16. So keep your fingers crossed that we keep this sponsor for a good long while. He's keeping us company. Muppet's keeping us company. But I'll tell you what, Charlie left a mighty big hole. He surely did. So, yeah, give a thumbs up in memory of Charlie. That would be great. Yeah. So any of you that did not know, hi Dar, any of you that did not know that we lost Charlie, I am putting it out. So as people come in the chat, you might kind of let them know what's going on. Hello, Barbara. Yeah. So, animals are prone to, those of you who are animal people, they are prone to letting you know when it is time. And Charlie was no exception to that. So the interesting part about it was that Monday was the anniversary of the death of my mother. I don't know why. I feel like I just have a cloud that's around me right now. It's the death cloud. I laugh only because it's ridiculous. But that was the death of my mother. She's been gone for 15 years. A lot of you have been following me that long. And so anyway, I went to the cemetery. A friend went with me. We went to the cemetery, took fresh flowers and put on her grave because my father, who was buried right beside her, was in the florist industry. He taught flower arrangement and all that kind of stuff, and he would have literally reached out and slapped me if I had put anything other than fresh flowers on that grave. So anyway, I did that. And by the time I got home in the afternoon, after all of the stuff that we did, Charlie was no longer able to stand up, and he wasn't in good shape at all. And so I was like, okay, all right, bud, you have let me know. And I'd had him at the vet last week, and the vet at that point thought he was probably going to be okay, at least for a while longer. So he was okay for a few more days, but then that was it. Hello, Nanette. So it's been a few months, folks. It's been a few months. Been a few wild months. Anyway, we're making it. We are making it, And he really needed to be let go, and he wasn't going to last much longer. Hold on just a second. Sorry, my phone was recording. If you know how that is, or your phone just decides to record stuff, and then it's like, oh no, that's not supposed to be doing that. I do not know why my phone takes off and records on its own, but it was going to, and so I had to delete everything it was recording. I don't need any of that. Oh, goodness. Anyway, it's supposed to be Drama-Free Friday, people. My name is Barb Owen of HowToGetCreative.com, and sometimes it's just not so drama-free. I wish it were. I really do, but sometimes it's not. And sometimes real life sneaks in and just slaps the crap out of you. I feel like that's what it's done lately. Anyway, we're here, and I have said sponsor. This is Chance, and sometimes people ask me what I do here, and sometimes it's a challenge to tell you and put it in a few words what I do. You know what I do? I think I do real life here. And sometimes it's I try to give everybody a break, and sometimes it just doesn't work that way. And so I'm here, and I do real life, and I don't hide much from anybody. And my goal is to help everybody that tunes in, whether you're live. This is a live production. And exactly. Yeah, I hope Charlie has found Claus Man and is sitting on his lap. That's a good feeling. Where was I? Anyway, so I don't try to hide much of anything. I try to take you on the journey with me. I was really gone for a long time last year in 2021 because I just couldn't do it all. It was too much. And so I was gone for a while, so real life was not so drama-free for quite a few months last year. And I thought, well, we got it. We whipped it. And then Charlie decided that he was going to go downhill. So, it's the nature of having pets. It's the nature of having pets for a long time. It's the nature of having pets that are close together in age. Charlie was 16. I had him from the age of 6. I got these two guys when they were 5 and 6 because the woman that had them, their previous owner, was a nurse, and she was a traveling nurse, and she needed to rehome these guys because she was going to be gone for quite a while, and it wasn't practical for her to keep them on the without somebody taking care of them. And so I got them at the ages of 5 and 6. A lot of people think they're litter mates, which they're not. They're a year apart. Anyway, so at this point, Charlie was 16, Chance is 15, and he is still going strong at this moment. And Muppet, our dog, is 14, so they are all close together in age, and they all have various issues. Chance is in the best shape of all three of them, but yeah. So Monday, Charlie he'd had lots of different things, and the vet, when I took him in, the vet said that he listened to his heart, and he said, I think it's his heart. And he said with cats, you can't tell, because something will go haywire in their hearts, and that doesn't show external issues with the heart. It's usually internal, is what he said, or that's what I understood. Anyway, so yeah, so a friend was with me, and we stayed with Charlie, and he didn't put up any struggle because he was done. He was definitely done. So Chance here is trying to adjust. I didn't know how that was going to go because Chance and Charlie were always in a wad somewhere. The first picture I saw of them, they were wadded up on a chair. And the picture I saw, I'm like, I have never had cats that have done that. I said, do they actually really do that? And exactly, Miriam. Real life with something creative on the side. That is the truth. That is the truth. So, I don't even know what I was just saying. Anyway, yeah, they were always in a wad someplace. So I wasn't sure how this was going to go. And Chance and Muppet, the dog, have a very adversarial relationship. I'm still not sure how this is going to go. Chance will run, Muppet will chase, and so I hope that they make an adjustment so that they end up being friends. But we'll find out, won't we? So anyway, that's what happened this week. And I have been cleaning in this studio, which you would never know it by looking at it where I am. On the other side of the studio, it has taken a definite difference. I'll show you. Let me show you what I've accomplished. Maybe you can be able to see it. So it's going to be bad camera work. I know that. It's going to be bad camera work, but you'll forgive me, I'm sure. So over there you see that big workbench area. You can see my vacuum cleaner sticking up. The thing with the brush on it, that's my vacuum cleaner. But all of that area over there, you can see it around to the blue cabinet. All of that area was the place where Clausman's stuff was. All of his carving stuff, and there was a lot of stuff over there. So I have been working on that this week, and man, has there been a lot of dust over there. Whew. I'm sure you can tell it in my voice. I am stopped up. My throat has been sore because I have breathed so much dust. And so I'm taking a break from it today. I'll resume it tomorrow. And so I'm getting there. My goal is, as I go through this process, because I had to start there so that I could get that dealt with, so I then had space to start moving things around. And my goal is to touch things once or twice, but no more than that. So if I pick it up, I deal with it. I don't just sort it. I don't just sort it into piles. I actually deal with it in that moment. So that takes longer because it's it's the decision making, you guys. It's the decision making that is so blooming overwhelming. Any of you guys know how that is? It's the decision making. It is constantly deciding what to do with this, what to do with that, where to put it, what. You ought to see my trailer. I have a trailer outside. It's not my trailer. It's on my property. I mean, I guess it is my trailer. I guess everything is mine now. I still have a little problem saying that. Anyway, the trailer, we'll say that, is full to the brim. I now am mounding stuff up and, of stuff to get rid of. It is something else. It really is something else here. But it's getting better. And so every few weeks I take a load of stuff that's worthy of going to Goodwill, that's worth, they could do something with. I take that to Goodwill, and then the rest of it is just piling into the trailer. And at some point, a friend of mine is going to take it to the dump for me, but there's also a lot of stuff that has to go to the recycle place. They like paint and all that kind of stuff has to go to the recycle place. It's just, there are times when it totally irritates me that he died. Because it's like, you took care of all this stuff, Do you guys ever do any of you have any relationship to that statement? Anyway, because I can't take the trailer to the dump. I could unload it after I got there, but I can't take the trailer to the dump. I can't take all the... Anyway, let's just... let's suspend all the stuff that I can't do. And let's just go to drama free, shall we? Anyway, Dar knows. Hello, Tim. Decision making is exhausting. It is. And so I see, you know what I do? I set a timer. And I'll work for an hour and a half, and then I quit because it's like, if the dust doesn't get me, the decision making just is exhausting sometimes. Because I just finished the garage. Although the garage is a 2-car garage, it feels great now. It feels just great. This space in here has been more of an emotional landmine for me. I've stepped on one landmine after another, but I haven't had any big meltdowns. I've just, it's just dealing. So anyway, it's real life over here, folks. It is real life, and I'm glad you're here. So let's return to Drama Free Friday, shall we? So anyway, today I'm going to show you a couple things, and then we're going to see if we can do something to honor our Charlieboy. We'll see. I don't know. It's in my head. Can it come out of my head and get out here for you guys? I don't know. Anyway, so thanks for joining me. I'm glad you're here. Yes, I'm glad you're here too. Now, whether I can get him to leave me alone while I stream today is yet to be determined, okay? So we're going to give it a try. Anyway, I'm glad you guys are here. It is, Gretchen. I'm glad you understand that. I'm glad somebody gets it. Anyway, okay, let's see if I can get him coaxed off the table. And I have a place for him right beside me. Can you stay over there? Can you? So if my voice sounds all, congested and stuff, it's because it is. It's because it is. So I had a question this week, which I really, wasn't quite expecting that I would be dealing with this subject again so soon. However, I had a question from a viewer. And I thought, I'll just run through these again. Someone in her family had lost a spouse. Thanks, Allie. Yeah, today is the first step of Chance giving art classes. Yeah, he says he agrees. Can you see him over here? It's right here. He's right under the bug on my screen. Anyway, somebody had said that she'd had a relative lose a spouse, and she wanted to know what the books were that I had found valuable. So I'm going to go through those real quickly. And then we'll carry on, shall we? All right. And we'll do something fun. We'll do something creative. By the way, tomorrow is the VIP class. So any of you that are in the VIP group at HowToGetCreative.com, your class is tomorrow. I sent out the save the date email, and I will send the link email. You'll get that information later today, and you'll get a reminder tomorrow if all goes well and I don't mess up the times, which has been known to happen. It's never my intention, but the description box has no links. Oh well, I'll get it some other time. I don't know why it doesn't have them, because they should be there. Should be. So anyway, these are the books that I'm just going to go through real quickly, so that if you need them, or if you know somebody in your life who does, they are here for you. This particular author, Alan D. Wolfelt, is one of the premier experts on grief. And premier, that sounds terrible. What would you say if you were an expert on grief? I don't know. I think I'm getting there, however. Anyway, he's written lots and lots of books. Let's just say that. And this one I found to be very essential. So this is a book, and it's just, the book that you read. I ended up going this far through it, so maybe I've got about a quarter of it left to do, which I may or may not ever do. I don't know. And this is, on this one, this is the journal that goes with this. I highly recommend, if you get this book, that you would also get the journal. This walks you through various exercises and thought-provoking things. Same author. Hello, Joan. Same author also has written a whole series of books, on very specific books on different losses. So this one, a friend of mine got this and suggested it. I read parts of hers and I thought, yeah, that's pretty good, So this one is specifically about losing a husband or wife. And so they're short and they're practical, and there's a little thing at the bottom of the page. So this is by the same author. And one more by the same author is this one, which is like a page a day kind of thing. So you go through, there's just one little meditation sort of thing. It's not super religious, but it is not offensive to anyone who is a specific faith. I don't think. I think anyone would find this helpful. The thing that's really been good for me is that I get to watch the bookmark march through this book. This is how far I am. Yes, hello. Welcome to you guys, welcome to the world of the adjusting cat. So we're going to just kind of try to put up with him. The problem's going to come when I get the paint out later. It could be really interesting. So this is what he does. He will come from nowhere. This is why he usually gets shut in there with his friend. I may have to shut him in there anyway, but anyway, we're going to see. Okay, back to this. So don't mind the cat. I'll try to scratch him and keep him. I'll try to keep him busy. So anyway, because of the point in time at which Clausman's body died, his mind died way before his body did, but the point at which his body died was at the end of last year. And so this was particularly poignant because it started in January. However, I didn't get this book in January. I got it in February, so I'm going back and looking through it. Nevertheless, watching the bookmark go through the book is really important to me, and some people might not think that was any big deal, but it just keeps marking the time that, since he passed on. So I can just, it's every month. It feels better, it feels lighter, because that's what I've chosen. I chose early in this process not to get stuck. I had to figure out how not to do that, hence all the books and all the different things that I've done. Um, does it still hurt? Well, of course it does. Do I still miss him? Sometimes, not, honestly, that he was gone so long before he left, before his body left, that I missed him for a long time before that. And so, there's things about him that I miss, but do I wish he was back here? I can't say that I do, because it was so difficult there at the end. Anyway, some of you may not understand that, and oh well. And this one is by David Kessler, Finding Meaning, the 6th Stage of Grief. It is not uncommon for me to get a book and get about, so far through the book, and then I stop reading it because I've gotten from the book what I needed. This one, I read every single page, including all of the stuff at the end. I made notes, I highlighted. This was particularly a good book for me. And this guy is another one that is really good. One of a really amazing expert on grief. So those are books that, Chance, you guys, I'm really sorry about this. This sponsor is very needy right now. Oh, he is like, he's like trying. Oh, you guys, I don't know what we're going to get done today. Are we going to get anything done, or are you just going to drive me crazy? Oh, goodness. And now, here we go. He stepped on the keyboard and changed things. Oh, you guys. Hi, Purple Nana. Just got a tail in my face. Oh, you guys, we may not get anything done today. Oh, hello, Jen. Gosh. Hi, Debbie. He's driving me bananas. He's bananas. Okay, so I got some happy mail. He is making me laugh. He is glued to me right now. He is absolutely glued to me. He just will not leave me alone. If I sit down, he's in my lap. If I come up in the studio, he is in a chair. When I'm working up here, he's in a chair watching me. If I get up and move, he's at my feet. I have to be very careful when I turn around, or I may step on him, because he is literally behind me. Aren't you? And he is just purring to beat the band, and he's drooling all over me. Oh, there must be, Barbara. You just bought a Charlie mug. The ones that I used were, I think they were by, don't know if I can put my hand on them, Dar. But there were paints that you can bake in the oven, that they set in the oven. And I don't remember what, I did if you look back in the playlist, back when we were doing the Charlie and, we were doing the challenge. I think it was the Charlie challenge. Was that what it was? Anyway, it was back when we did the challenge. It's been at least 2 years ago. I think it was it 2020, I think. And I did some where I painted, I think it was the Muppet mug. But you bake them in the oven. So just look for the markers, or they have paints that you can use with brushes. And then you bake them in the oven. Hello, Starla. So I got some, as I was trying to say, this cat on my desk, and he's rubbing his face on the Happy Mail. I got this Happy Mail a couple of weeks ago, and I forgot to show it. And then it got in a stack. If you could see the table that's on the other side of where I am, it's piled about 2 feet high, this table. It's going to get done this week. I'm determined. Anyway, So, we're going to try and, would you please let me tell them things? Would you please? I'm not petting him, and so he's rubbing his chin on my hand. Now he's rubbing his head on the happy mail. Oh, goodness. Okay, anyway. So we're just going to have to put up with a cat today, you guys. This is from Esther Thompson, and she has been so kind to send me some ATC cards that she's made, and she always puts them in these nifty little sleeves. I'm so far behind with sending notes to people and acknowledging happy mail. Let's get the water off here. I need to just stop apologizing and just acknowledge that I'm a total flop when it comes to sending notes to people right now. I can't get it out of the package. I was going to see if I could get it out so you could see it. There we go. Without the shiny sleeve. Good energy. Don't you wish you could just put good energy in a bottle like that and pass it around? Yeah, it's really pretty. Little paper flowers and a little felt flower. She got some beads and a crystal. This looks like watercolor in the background. I don't know if it is. And that one, and then all of her information on the back. But isn't that pretty? That was from Esther Thompson. And she lives in Louisiana, I believe. LA, Benton, LA, is that Louisiana? I think it is. Anyway, and then I got this came from Janet Nash in the UK. She sent me all kinds of little bits and pieces in this envelope. Fairy wing mail, it says here. Fairy wing mail. Isn't this pretty? This is my address that anybody can use. It's a P.O. box. You're welcome to use that to send mail to me. Please don't anticipate that I'm going to send mail back to you anytime soon. I might be able to, but I may not. I may never get to send mail back to you. Because if you try to work on a desk with a cat on it, hello, Kimberly. You are obnoxious, Chance. Oh my God, you guys. Oh, this cat. I don't know. I'll let him do this for a while, and then I'm gonna see if I can put him in the other room. Yes. Oh, he's crazy. See, a lot of what he did is the two of them got affection from each other. And so they wadded up together on chairs. They wadded up together on tables. And so they fulfilled that need for all this intense affection that they have, that both of these cats had. They got it from each other, so I didn't have to do all this. Well, ta-da! Apparently that rule has changed. Anyway, so this came from Janet. She decorated the envelope. She's in the UK, Janet Nash, who has a YouTube channel, and she has a dog named Freddie. She sent me a sweet little note, and she says, Barb and sponsors, I am new to your channel, have been so moved by the stories you share about your journey and lovely art. Janet Nash and Freddie. Her dog is named Freddie, who is an adorable black dog. And then she sent me just all kinds of little bits. So there's a little butterfly. We all know if you've been hanging around me very long, you know how much I love butterflies. The word thrive on a heart. This is one of my favorite words. In fact, the Bible that I bought this year, earlier this year, is called the Thrive Bible. That's just what's on the outside of it. It's a really neat edition of the NLT version of the Bible. Anyway, thrive is one of my favorite words. She sent me a happy face and another happy face, and she sent me one of her sweet little ATC cards. Look, apparently this is me with butterfly wings and two sponsors, and so we should put a little halo above whichever one we think is Charlie, since he has gone on. So yeah, so this is an artist trading card from Janet Nash, July of 22. He was still here in July of 22, so we'll just leave it just the way it is. Yes. Charlie, Chance, you are something else. So anyway, Janet, thank you. Janet Nash, thank you so much. I'm sorry it took me forever to even acknowledge the Happy Mail, and I can't read the address. I don't see an address to be able to send anything back, so I'm going to have to get a hold of Janet and find out what her address is. Hello, Dana. Okay, so Barbara Clark says he's wadding up with you. He is. He is wadding up with me. Okay. Next thing I want to show you is what's going to go on in the VIP class tomorrow. I'll just show you from here because he's not going to let me do anything else, apparently. So we're going to finish up this canvas tomorrow, and I'll give you a close-up of it here in just a minute. He is petting himself on me. You are making a very interesting stream. I would not normally let him get by with this, but we're going to tolerate him for a little while. He's going to rub his head on it. Welcome to my studio with a sponsor, a very needy sponsor. Dana has a panther sitting on her table. There you go. Hi, Signa. Oh, goodness. Okay, anyway, this is what we're doing at the VIP class tomorrow. We have, just so you know kind of what the VIP class is, we do a class every month of some kind, and sometimes we do just a show and share, but most of the time I have a class associated with it. This was from a photo that I took. I showed everybody how to take that photo and then sketch from a photo, like on the phone. So I worked with this size image, and I showed them how to sketch by looking at the photo and then sketching it. There are lots of ways you can do that. You can grid it, you can use Photoshop, you can do all kinds of things, but I wanted them to learn how to see and just look at something and then sketch it on paper, a nice big piece of paper. And so that's what I taught them in the first class. The second class, I taught them how to paint it. And then in this class, you're going to see they're going to learn how to embellish the center part. So that is all stitch. So I'm going to show it to you so you can get a real look at it. So I embellished this canvas, just this part, with stitch. Okay. And so there is, hopefully you can see, I'm going to see if I can tilt it so you can see the dimension. You can ignore the cat. You can see the dimension created. So it's sort of an exercise in slow stitching. I made it up as I went along, but I really love the effect. Really love the effect. So we will be finishing that tomorrow. The one that I actually showed them, this was my prototype. This one was the prototype. This is the one which has not been stitched yet, but this actually is the one that we did in class. So I did a square canvas in the class as opposed to the rectangular one. They're just both, you know, they're both fine. They just are different from each other. Okay. I will tell you, one of the things I do not miss about Charlie is the puke. I do not miss that aspect of him. It's kind of like, you know, the end of life is often not very pretty. And I don't miss that part of it. You guys know I had to buy a carpet cleaner because of it. Yeah. You're making my nose, but between the dust and you're making my nose run, baby. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you guys liked it. Sorry that you're having to watch my nose being wiped, but anyway. Yes. What do you have to say for yourself? Are you going to talk? You have anything else to say? Your tail is rearranging everything on my table. Do you have anything else you want to talk about? What do you have to say? Okay. Anything else? Do you have anything else you'd like to tell the world? Sorry, it's just the way it is. You have anything else to say? If I'm not paying enough attention to him, he reaches up and slaps my face. Gently, but still a slap. He has no claws in his front feet. He came that way. Which is good because he would otherwise just scratch the tar out of me. Siamese are these Siamese were big cats, and they are heavy, and they had big claws and big teeth. They are a very unique breed. Okay, is there anything else that you want to say? He's looking, I put the canvas down on the floor of the sunflower. He's looking off the table like, should I go over there and rub my face on it? Do you think I could put you in the other room for a while? Would you like to have some catnip and maybe you could leave me alone for a little while? Huh? Do you think so? Okay, I'm gonna try to put him in the other room. You ready? All he's doing is looking at me. All right, let's see if we can manage this, you guys. All right, come on. Yeah, come on. Whoa, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. Yes. All right, come here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's kitty drugs. See if that'll work. I'll let you out in a little bit. Do you guys think that'll work? You think that'll work? I'd say there's Oh, I will sign it. I will. It's not quite done yet. Thank you, Tara, but yeah, I always do, and date it. You thought it was beads? No, it's all stitch. It's all stitch. All right. Okay. Now I got cat hair everywhere. Okay, so what we're going to do. What we're going to attempt to do, I think, is I have a canvas that I have prepared. It is a 12 by 12 canvas. It was actually a black canvas. Okay, so it was black square canvas, and it is it was black to begin with. This was the canvas itself, so I bought it black, and it was very cheap canvas, which now has cat hair on it. And then I was going to paint it with black gesso to give it a coat of gesso. Well, here's the deal. This is a news flash to any of you that are new, to the world of art supplies. If you don't use your art supplies in a year, things dry up. Other things dry up too, but art supplies dry up. And so I had a container of black gesso that is my favorite black gesso, and it had about 2/3 gone and about 1/3 left in the bottle, and it dried up, and I was really annoyed about that. But that is the nature of products. There are very few art products out there that if exposed, if they have air in the jar or air in the tube, over time they will dry up. And oil paint will do that. It takes a very long time, like a lot of years, but oil paint will eventually dry up. Watercolor you can often reconstitute, and that kind of stuff. But you know, there's anything that's acrylic based, you can't reconstitute it. So, yep, they are heavy. That Chance is a Blue Point, and he is a heavy dude, man. So anyway, so I had to take another strategy. So what I did on this is I painted it with clear gesso, and the light's going to be funky because it's trying to read off the black. So I painted it with clear gesso, and the clear gesso I had did not dry totally clear. And I'm like, oh, good, that is great. So it didn't dry totally clear. I let it dry, and then I went back over the top of it with a coat of just matte acrylic paint. So it has had some stuff done to it, right? All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to get out some colors, and we're just going to paint some, just kind of randomly paint. This is left over from the llama, so we're going to get rid of the llama. So we're going to get rid of the llama paints, which I still haven't finished, but that's nothing new. Yeah, that is nothing new. I'm going to get my acrylic paint here so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. I have this whole basket of acrylic paint. It's everything from artist paint to student grade paint to craft paint in that basket. And if I don't have colors there, I've got them in this cart. So I'm just going to see, how about you guys tell me, no, I'm not going to let you do that. I'll do it. I'll let you start telling me what colors to pick. We'll be here for a long time. So I was going to let you, but I just changed my mind. So let's see what colors I want to get here. Green, blue, yellow. Let's do red. Let's do a red. Let's do like a primary color scheme. Primary colors. So red, yellow, blue. Let me find a red of some kind. This whole thing will get organized. Berry red. No, those are too red. Sorry, we're just going to have to just sort of float with me here for a minute. I'm looking for a specific red. Give me just another second. We'll work with this one. If there's anything in it. Oh, sounds like it is. Okay. I thought I would show you these because they were sitting on top of my desk over here, top of my cart. You know, side note. So this was, let's see. This was the beginning of this. This was one of those little books that Michael's had at one point. They're those chipboard books. They had them in shapes. And so I bought this. I did this, I don't know how many years ago. 2012. So this is old. Anyway, I did this for Claus Man one year for Christmas. So I thought, oh, I'll show it to you. So this was a play on the word pear, P-E-A-R and P-A-I-R. And so I found lots of quotes. This has modeling paste and collage and stamping and images from magazines and so forth. So I just thought I would show it to you so you could see I guess I could zoom in, couldn't I? There we go. So it has a bunch of, this is modeling paste through a stencil. And some of you may remember when I did this, because I think I did most of this on a stream way back. And I think I combined 2 books to make this one. Can you hear Chance? Yeah. And so I did these, I think I put 2 of these little books together on the same ring, I think. But I just found all different images of pears. You know, I just found a bunch of them that were in magazines and stuff. This is a quote by Abraham Lincoln. "A man watches his pear tree day after day, impatient for the ripening of the fruit. Let him attempt to force the process, and he may spoil both fruit and tree. But let him patiently wait, and the ripe pear, the ripe pear at length falls into his lap." By Abraham Lincoln. So I just found all these different images of pears, and that's what I used on this little book. Yeah. And then quotes, all these quotes about pears. I like this one. "Eating pears cleans the teeth," Korean proverb. "Cinderella is proof that a pair, P-A-I-R, of shoes can change your life." Yeah. So anyway, it was just a fun little project to do. This was apparently from an Apple advertisement or something. "You should go to the pear tree for pears, not to the elm." True. True enough. And then there's another one. So anyway, there was that. This was another one I did. This was done with chipboard also. These were, I don't remember if I cut these or if they were different size books. I don't remember, but this was the life of Muppet. And so I just bound them together with jute. So this is just jute twine sort of stuff. And this little book has been it's been handled enough that it's kind of in bad shape. But this is Muppet when we first got her. And this was when we had Sandy, our golden retriever, our sweet Sandy girl. And we went walking all the time. That's how I got Muppet. She's wearing a backpack back here. That's how I trained Muppet and got her past her she was a difficult dog. She was 8 months old when we got her. She'd been returned to the rescue 2 times, and she was a real tough dog to train. So we walked her legs off. So Muppet's right there. Sandy's here. That's me. And somebody had taken a poop. So there's us walking. Yeah, we walked and walked and walked. We were getting ready to cross the street. So here Muppet has on her backpack because she had to have a job, and so she carried all the supplies. She carried the poop bags. She carried water bottles in each side. She carried the water bowl. She carried beans, dry beans, in each side. So she had work to do. So Sandy had clearly taken a poop again. So I'm getting out the poop bags. Yeah. And then we also Clausman made attachments for the back axles of both of our bikes. You can see down here, right there. And so we could take them on the bikes, take them for rides. This was her favorite spot to lie in. This was a big kettle that was used for making, for rendering lard, I think it was. And this was in a flower bed. And for several years, she loved to lay in there. So I couldn't put flowers in there anymore because she would lay in it. And this is going through the Starbucks drive-through. I couldn't get the drive-through to trigger, and I couldn't take the dogs in, so I would just walk through the drive-up. And so we would order at the window. And Muppet always held the money also in her backpack. And then she liked to lick out the whatever was in the cup. So, yeah. So this is the life of Muppet. So she's cleaning out the cup. So then they're out in the yard, and Sandy liked to really tease Muppet, and then Muppet loved to go swimming. You can see her feet are off the ground here. She's launching into the lake to go get this orange floaty, and she was like a motorboat, and then she'd go get it. She wasn't the retriever. The other dog was a golden retriever, and Muppet would go get the float and bring it back. Not the golden retriever. And they had lots of quarrels about toys outside. So it's just different images. She thought everything belonged to her. The chair, the flower pot, everything belonged to Muppet. Yeah, there was a neighbor behind us that didn't like us, didn't like Muppet. She'd give him the evil eye. And then she'd bark at him. She did not like that guy. This was just playing with a filter. Again, playing with a filter. These, you can't see them, but there's deer that were in our neighborhood. And this was when we used to walk. You can hardly see it. But this is a doe, and she was nursing twins. And then Clausman took her geocaching. They were out geocaching, and they were out at a farm, and this cow came up to the fence to look at Muppet, and Muppet was very frightened of that cow. Yeah, very frightened of that cow. So here she is with more cows. And she finally touched noses with the cows. Let's see. This is Clausman, and he would take her for a ride just to get some of her energy out. And for Mother's Day, I got roses, so I let her sniff them. So they were out geocaching, and geocaching is like an adult treasure hunt. And she really liked to do that. They all have the same kind of smell, and so she was pretty good at helping him find those. So still geocaching. Then they were back at the cows. And this is where Muppet lived. She liked her crate, and so it once was Sandy's crate, but now it's Muppet's crate, and she liked it. That was her house. And here she is going fishing. This was the first time she went fishing, and so Clausman had caught a fish and brought it and put it up here on the bank for her to look at. She thought that, she was really engaged in the process of the fishing expedition. I had to be real careful with her. The dogs are not allowed to go in the kitchen. We don't have Sandy anymore, so Muppet is the only surviving dog. She's not allowed to go in the kitchen, and she's real good about staying out and watching. Let's see. Oh, and this was one of her toys. And here she is hiding under a blanket. And this was our Sandy girl. And she was a rescue dog, too. Both of them were. So, yep. So now she's going to sleep. Yep. So that was that. Anyway, I had those out, and so I thought I would show those to you, and then I can put them away somewhere. I guess I could show you the card, too, couldn't I? So this was a postcard. This was something that I think I did in the VIP group. These were little bits and pieces of leftovers stitched together to make a postcard. So, anyway. So I just thought I would show those to you while I had them out. Okay, let's get back on this, shall we? Let's see if we can do something. Good grief, it's 2 o'clock. And what have I done? Zip. Okay, let's put some paints out. Let's paint. Hi, Dorothy. All right, I hope you guys are having a good day. You know, we might as well have a good day. So I have blue, and then I have green, kind of muted tones. These are just acrylic craft paints. Chance is quiet. Oh, thank goodness the cat is quiet. Oh, do you have any idea what a blessing it is to have a quiet Siamese? You guys, it's a blessing to have a quiet cat. It really is. Okay, and this color I'm using is Naples yellow. So I'm just going to put some of these colors out. So I have kind of a triad primary color scheme: red, yellow, blue, and then green, which is of course a combination of the yellow and blue. So let's just, we're just gonna paint these squares, and then we'll see what happens next. I sort of know where I'm gonna go with it, but not so totally. Acrylic paint, I'm gonna just start with the brush, and then we're just gonna paint some, randomly paint some squares in here. I have 9 squares, so let's just, and I don't want the colors to be super, I don't want any of this to be totally neat and tidy. Okay, I'm just going to kind of go with the flow and see what happens. I did not get the doll finished that I started the last 2 weeks, the soul support doll. Thought I would get that done. Probably should get it done, but I didn't. So because I've been working on cleaning the studio out. Good gravy. Yeah, good gravy. That's too close to the other color, so I'm going to add a little bit of this, whatever this is, light olive green. I'm going to add a little bit of this into this green so we get a little bit of contrast. I went to a football game last night. I haven't been to a college football game since I was like 10 years old, you guys. Yeah, 10 years old. It was really fun. I enjoyed it totally. And I'm not a football person. Okay, I'll tell you what I did. True confession. Because I don't know anything about football. I know baseball and I know basketball, but I do not know football. So Google and YouTube are my friends. And so I looked online. I Googled, not Googled, but I searched on YouTube to see if there were any beginning, like football for dummies. Yeah, I did. I watched a 35-minute video on football, and then I felt more comfortable. I did. I didn't feel like such an idiot when I went to this game. Not bad if I say so myself. The big thing that this person kept saying was, get another drink. That's a big part of football, is the drinking. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably not a good idea, but yeah, so I decided that I wasn't going to take that part of the advice to heart. All right, guess I could put this so you could see a little bit more. I'm going to come back. Well, we'll let that dry. All right, let's put some red. This is Napa red. So we're going to put some red in here because we can. So what my vision for this is to do something to just kind of honor Charlie, celebrate Charlie's life. So I printed out lots of pictures of him. I have folders and folders and folders of pictures of these cats and tons of pictures on my phone. But you know what? When you need them and you want to find them, do you think, especially if you've waited too long, like I did today, it's not a good idea. It's hard to find things in your phone or computer if you're as disorganized as I am. Yeah, so anyway. So I'm just going to do this, and we're just going to paint a background. All right, so we got red. All right, let's go back and let's do... Just washing my brush out. He is meowing. He was quiet for a little bit. You should know better than to ever think that a Siamese is going to be quiet for very long. Let's go back and put another little bit of this. I want the colors to be a little more intense, but still sort of muted, I guess, so we're just going to put a little bit more. When I paint especially, I just sort of go with the flow. I don't worry too much about how things are going to turn out. Now the sunflower was a little different than that, because the sunflower, let's put some more of this down here. The sunflower, I wanted it to look like a sunflower. I didn't want it to be photorealistic, that's not my goal, but I did want it to be recognizable as a sunflower, so that was a little bit different. This one, this kind of thing, this is more like an art journal stretched over a frame. And when I'm painting something, sorry about the snotty nose every once in a while, disgusting. I'm sorry, it's just the how of it. That's what Race used to say. Well, it's the how of it. I'm surprised Race isn't here. Hi, Linda. I'm surprised Race isn't here today. Now that I've said that, he'll probably show up. All right, clean this brush out a little bit. Not a whole lot. And then let's use some blue. So I've got this blue, which is, let's see what it's called. Baby blue. So, ooh, that is too much. That's like too much. So let's put a little Napa. Let's mute that down a little bit. Yeah, that might be a little bit better. It's often good to mix your colors and not use them straight out of the bottle or straight out of the tube. It's kind of like watercolor. A lot of times in watercolor, people prefer to mix colors instead of using them straight out of the tube or straight. I mean, I'm talking like I know what I'm talking about. I'm not a watercolor person. But Janet's here. She's a watercolor person. She can tell you. Most of the time, I think watercolor people will mix their colors, mix their paints, and so forth, because they're more interesting and they tend to go with each other better if you're kind of using, especially if you start out with a kind of a dirty color, mother color, I think they call it sometimes. Anyway. All right, I think we're going to get where I want to go with this. I think we're going to get there. I like what the red did. That's good. All right, let's do, I'm going to put this one in blue also. So I mixed some of this into that. Let's put a little bit more. Chance is just having a field day in there. Can you guys hear him? Becky says her son just opened something so it smells terrible. Yep, that can happen. That can happen. Okay, where did I say I was going to put that blue? Let's do it here. I don't know where I said I was going to put it, but that's where I'm going to put it. And they don't need to be the exact same shades of whatever. So I'm just going to kind of put that. Hopefully it'll end up with a little bit different color. One of the reasons I started with black is because I wanted the black to kind of come through the paint and shine through the paint a little bit. This is based on a painting that I saw in a doctor's office that I was really fascinated by the painting, and I thought, oh, that would be fun to do sometime. And then Charlie died, and then it's like, well, that would be a good thing to use to kind of honor him. And will I ever put this up in my house? I don't know. It's possible. You know, it's possible. Okay, so what else should we do? Let's do green again. And I'm using light avocado mixed with a little bit of light olive green. Yeah, so let's do that and see what we get. Let's do this one maybe in here. I may have to do some random square here in a minute if it doesn't work out the way I want it to. We might alter the red and get something else with the red too. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. We're making it up as we go. When I first started painting acrylics, okay, true confession, you guys, true confession. I started painting before acrylic paint had been invented for the craft market. I've been doing this a long time. I go in fits and spurts as to how much I paint, but once acrylic paints came into being, it sure made it easier. It made it a ton easier. But it's such a different animal. Boy, you have to really, it's an adjustment. It's a huge adjustment to go from oil to acrylic, or vice versa. Once you understand how they work, then it goes pretty well. But man, oh man, it's a huge learning curve. And then throw in watercolor. It's like, ugh, you know. Okay, let's go back to this red. I'm gonna add a little bit more. It's gloss. I'm gonna put a little bit more red in this just to kind of. Maybe we'll do this up in the corner. Actually, we'll change the red up a little bit. So I added a redder red. How's that for description? Hi, Alicia. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're gonna miss him, aren't we? We're all gonna miss him. He was the sweetest cat. Oh my goodness, that was a sweet cat. He was the first one when the cats came here. Let's put this up here. You know what I'm doing, so I'll just talk to you. When the cats first came here, the woman who brought them to me, as I was saying earlier, was a traveling nurse, and so she brought them. I didn't have any cats. I was looking for cats. It was quite a saga to get a cat there for a while because, well, it was a whole adventure I won't even go into because I got in all kinds of trouble when I was explaining it back in the day. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They found me. You know, when I finally, it's like many things, when you finally quit looking for something, it'll show up in your life, you know? And they did. They showed up, and they were exactly the right fit, although I was pretty convinced that I was severely allergic to Siamese cats because my sister had Siamese cats, and every time I went to her house, I would get this horrendous allergy thing, to the point that one time I thought I was going to have to go to the hospital because my chest closed up. I think as life played out, I think I was allergic to the sister and not the cats. That's a whole other story. So anyway, the lady who owned the cats, another interesting detail, when she came to deliver the cats, she said, "Do you remember that you played the piano for my wedding and your husband sang?" I had no idea. None. Absolutely no idea. I still have no recollection of that. It's the funniest. That is a weird feeling when somebody says, "Did you remember that you did this?" and you have not even the slightest recollection of the thing. Not the slightest. And I didn't. I had no clue, absolutely no clue that that we did that. She was absolutely certain that we did. So I'm sure we did, but man, I had no idea. Anyway, so it's pretty funny that fast forward, I don't know how many years, she didn't keep the husband, but she had cats, and we ended up with her cats. Okay, so I'm going to change to another color here. Change this up just a little bit for this yellow color. I'm going to lighten it a little bit. Isn't that funny though? Anyway, so she brought them in a giant dog crate. Now, I was going to go to her house to see the cats. She lived, probably 20, 25 miles from here. I was going to go see her and see the cats. And she said, "Oh, no, I'll just bring them to you." I said, "Well, what if this doesn't work out?" And she said, "Well, I mean, I thought she was bringing them just for me to, get acquainted with them." No, she brought them in fully intending to leave them. She brought them in a dog crate that was big enough for a Rottweiler. Okay? A Rottweiler. In case you don't know what a Rottweiler is, that is a very big dog. Big dog. And there's these two Siamese cats were in this crate, kind of rattling around when she brought, I guess it was the only size crate she had. And she carried that crate in. She set it down. I put the crate right back here in my sewing room. And I said, I'm trying to open the door to look at them and stuff. And she carries in their food, all of their stuff. Like she brought their jammies and everything, and toys and the whole bit. And I'm like, what if this doesn't work out? And she said, "Oh, call me. I'll come back and get them." And I thought, oh, right. What she doesn't understand is that anything that comes to live in my house gets to stay. They just stay. So I'm like, well, I'm going to have to figure out how this is going to work. All right. So what I'm going to do now, I've done this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is the Naples yellow, and this is buttermilk or something. It was a craft paint, antique white. I'm going to mix these together in order to hopefully lighten this color a little bit, just to vary it. And then I'm going to paint this in this one until I get the color that I want. So that's what I'm going to do there. Okay, so you got the idea. Anyway, so she brings, like I said, she delivers them in a crate that fits a Rottweiler. And she's fully intending to leave them. And I'm like, I don't know how this is going to work, because I don't know, at this point, I don't know whether I can tolerate them, because I'm pretty sure I'm allergic to Siamese cats. But there was just something about the pictures that I had of these cats that I thought, and it was like free to a good home. They had already been neutered and the whole bit. And I'm like, well, all the expensive stuff's been done. They'd had all their shots and all that stuff, So it's like, okay, well, let's just see what we can do with these two. And so she said, if it doesn't work out, call me and I'll come get them. I'm like, oh, yeah, right. And so she left, and at this point I have two dogs. Muppet is, I think she's relatively new at this point, and I don't know I don't know how she is about cats, right? I have no idea, because I didn't have a cat when Muppet came to live here. And so I thought, well, I'll just keep the door, because I have a door that closes the studio off. So I thought, well, I'll just keep the door closed, and, we'll just, introduce them, everybody slowly. And, I knew pretty much how to do that, so I felt confident, sort of, kind of. And so I opened, I'm in the sewing room. I have the sewing room door shut, but I'm in there. And so I think, well, okay, I'm going to open the crate. And so I do. I opened up the door to the dog crate, and then I just sat on the floor with them, and Chance is smashed clear up in the back part as far as he could go in this crate, scared to death. Scared to death. And both of us felt so sorry for him, because he was just so terrified. Charlie, on the other hand, walks up to the door. He kind of puts his paw kind of outside, and he kind of looks around like this. And he looks up at me, gives me a big Siamese meow, like, oh, this is where I live, and walked out. Took a look around. I had had a litter box at this point. I have rushed around and put a litter box in the room for them. And he walks around, he gets in the litter box, takes a look at that, gets out, shakes his feet off. So now we've got cat litter introduced everywhere. So, it's all good. And he gets out, and he looks all the way around. He goes over and takes a drink of water. And then he crawls around on because I'm sitting on the floor, kind of crawls around on my lap. And he's just kind of like, oh, hello. Yeah, this is where I live. Oh, okay. No big deal. This is where I live now. And that was all of his adjustment that there was. He owned the place. He looked all the way around. He, nosed into every nook and cranny, of which there are many here. And he declared it was just fine. He didn't mind. His friend was here, and so he was okay with that. Everything was good. He decided that he knew where he was going to live. He was the first one to, come out of that crate, and he just thought it was great. Chance, on the other hand, stayed smashed up in the back of the crate for hours. And I kept checking on him, and he was back there in the back part of the crate. And at one point I came in, and he was gone. The door was shut, so there wasn't any place for him to go, but I could not find that cat anywhere. He was absolutely gone. And I thought, this is terrible. What am I going to do now? I don't know where the cat is. And so I looked all over trying to figure out where that cat was. And he finally found him. He had crawled up on a shelf, and he crawled behind a bunch of stuff. And it took me forever to find that cat. And he crawled in behind all this stuff on this shelf. And he stayed there for a really long time, like days. Yeah, days he stayed in that spot. He sure did. So what I'm doing now is I'm just adding another little coat of color on top of this, just to give it a little bit more trying to get the color I want, which I'm not doing a very good job here. Just marry the colors together a little bit more. This is probably going to be a two-part class, you guys. I hope you don't mind, because I don't think I'm going to be able to get it all done today. Let's do the same thing on this. Let's just add a little bit of this color into this green. Just That was a little extreme. A little extreme here. The thing about acrylic paint is it dries really fast. So if you screw it up, you can just come back over it with another coat, you know. Change the color back to, you know, whatever you want. I just want something that's sort of goes together, but is kind of different from one square to the next. Bye, Dana. Good to see you. Yeah, hope to see you tomorrow. Absolutely. Gotta make myself a note about this. Hold on before I forget this. All of a sudden, it's a good thing I saw her name in the chat, because I was like, gotta make a note about Dana, Miss Dana. I hope you guys are having a good day today. Thanks for celebrating the life of one of our sponsors, Charlie. If any of you are new that are coming in, we lost Charlie this week. It was time for him to cross the Rainbow Bridge. Hopefully he has found Clausman and he has crawled up on his lap and is having some good lap time with him. I think that is a great, just a super great image. All right, I want to add something to this one just to tint it a little bit. So I'm just adding a little bit of that green just to tint this creamy color a little bit, knock it back just a touch, just a touch. And then I'm going to put a little bit of blue in this. If you guys have questions, be sure that you put your question in caps, because I will not see it if you don't. I may not see it if you do. My intention is to see it. Yeah, my intention is always to see your questions in caps, but sometimes I don't. All right, I don't want that to be that close to that, so need to add a little bit more. I'm turning that too close to that other color. Oh dear. See, this is what you have to do. You just have to play back and forth till you get what you're after, but that's not what I'm after, so. So when that happens, you just make a new plan and you just alter it, you know? Mixed media, and right now it's not mixed because it's just acrylic paint, so we haven't mixed it up very much. But one of the advantages to mixed media is if it doesn't work, just go over it with something else with, you know, the layering process. And sometimes with acrylic, you need to let it sit and dry, because like these two colors are looking very much the same, especially to you guys. And we got to change those a little bit. Oh, excuse me. That was obnoxious. Sorry. Oh, thank you, Dana. Not Dana. Joan. Sorry. Did I say Dana? Thank you, Joan. Yeah, we lost Charlie this week. We sure did. We sure did. Okay, let's see what we're going to put on this. I'm going to try mixing the red with some of this Naples yellow. Let's see what it does. Don't want it too. No, that's going to be too. That's going to be way too. So we're going to put some the Napa red here. See what it does. You know, the advantage to making it up as you go along is that it doesn't really matter how it turns out. It doesn't really matter how it turns out because I'm making it up anyway, right? I'm just making it up as I go. So messy squares on purpose. And then I'm going to cut out, after this gets dry, I'm going to cut out a house shape. I think I'm going to kind of leave this one. I think I kind of like that. So this is kind of a purpley color, and that's kind of red. That's okay. That works. Okay, we'll call it good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut out a house. So we're going to effectively make our own stencil. So there's our background, okay? There's our background. That's good. It's okay. I can live with that. So this is basically one of these squares with a little margin around it. And so let's make a house. See if we can make a primitive look. Oh man, that drives me crazy when the grid gets all wonky. Sorry. Any of you that are that way. Whew, I bet that just drove you crazy. Alright, so we're going to just draw a house. Very primitive house. Okay, we don't want it too big or too small. Needs to be a Goldilocks house. It needs to be just right. Okay, it needs to be a Goldilocks house and it needs to be just right. Yeah, but not too perfect. And we're going to put a chimney on our house because who doesn't want a house with a chimney? Alright, that's not too bad. Alright, let's cut out this house and see what it looks like. How are you guys doing? Hi, Christine. Thank you. We are celebrating the life of our Charlieboy, our sponsor. What am I going to do when the day happens that I have no sponsors? I hope that doesn't happen for a long time. But oh my goodness, that could be a day that we have to make a decision here. I don't know. I've never lived without a cat. I also don't know if I want to train a whole bunch more pets, you know? So I don't know. I'm at a place in my life where, you know, I'm having to make decisions. Ooh. Decisions are not so great sometimes. Sometimes decisions aren't all that much fun to make. Alright, let's see. So I just cut this out. This mat under here is a self-healing mat, so we're good. We are good to cut on it. Alright, so here's the house shape. So my thought is that we would put kind of put houses in each one of these little, and that looks like that's pretty much, I think that would work. Don't you think that'd work? I think it'd work. Now, I got to decide, do I want it this way, or this way, or this way? I don't think I want the red up in the corner. I think I want the red down in a corner. Let's put it down here, shall we? Why not? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I can either use the stencil that I cut out, you know, so I can use the stencil like this, or I can draw around this. We might have to do some of each. What do you think? You guys still here? The chat came to a roaring halt. This is a pastel, in other words, a chalk pencil. Once I draw the houses on here, then I will decide if I'm going to paint inside the houses or outside the houses. So we'll just draw around the ones that this will show up with, and then I have other colors of the pastel pencils, and so we'll just get another color that'll show up, because on the lighter color paints they're not going to show up, right? And then I'll show you the images that I have. Listening and working. Okay. Miriam found a black Canson and working. Good, cool. I don't want these necessarily to all line up with each other. You know, I kind of want them to be a little off. And, you know, here's the thing about doing a canvas like this. Who did I see do this? Mary. The Mary Attier did this, where she had a canvas that she painted, and then she took it off the stretcher and she used it for something else. I'd never thought about doing that. That was the greatest idea. And I have done that a couple of times since, where I've had something on a canvas, you know, that I painted, and then I took it off. I took the staples out and used the canvas. But it was a great idea because it the stretcher bars, the frame, this back here, this held the canvas in place. But then when you want to take it off, you just pop the staples out and take it off. It works great. Oh, Tip, you're holding your arms down. Oh, you have no silence. Oh, boy. Oh, I bet, Becky. I bet that is true. Okay, so I'm going to switch to a little darker pencil. These are General's. The brand of this is General's Pastel Chalk. General's. They're not expensive. So I'm just going to put a house on here. So it's a holiday weekend here in the United States this weekend. Anybody got plans for this weekend? Alright. I'm not going to do a thing that I know of. Probably clean. Gosh, you know, once you start cleaning and organizing, there's just no place to stop. And if I ever stop, you know, like really getting interrupted in the process, it is trouble in River City because I don't get back to it. You guys like that? I like this. I'm liking this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint kind of like I did the squares. I'm going to paint loosely around or inside the house. I don't know which. We'll just see, because I told you I'm making it up as I go. I was inspired by a painting I saw at a doctor's office, and beyond that, I had no plans until we lost Charlie, and then I thought, oh, I think we need to do something to honor Charlie. And so oh, I'm liking it. I'm liking the way this is going. Okay, so here's what I have in mind. These are images that I have, and they're going to be out of scale and the whole bit. You know, it doesn't make any difference. But I'll zoom in so you can see these. Going out to pull weeds. Whoo-wee. It is. I think it's going to be warm here this weekend. Pulling weeds. I need to get weeds off my fence. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, my vision is to take some of these images. This is how these two most of the time were. And the last couple of weeks, Charlie had gotten where he would not get up on things. And he liked this little place under this table. This is an old sewing machine. That's a file cabinet. That's a piece of Chance's bubble wrap. Chance still likes bubble wrap. He likes to pop it. And so he has pieces of bubble wrap in different places. That's one of them. So I finally could put a cat bed down here. And so they were wadded up in that cat bed most of the time. This is Chance's tail. So I thought, well, I'll use that. And this one, this is a real typical expression. He looks real mean right there, but that's a typical expression Charlie had. This was the way that he liked to be. This was one of his, this is an earlier picture. This is the later one. He often had this gunk in his eyes, and his tongue would hang out, and he'd be purring. So it's like, okay. This is one of the images that I commonly use on the beginning, the placeholder for the live stream. You can see what a difference he looks here. This is when he was younger. This is older. See the difference in the coloration on his face. And then these are some other ones. So here's another one, the two of them. This was a fairly recent picture with him all, the two of them wadded up. They were on my lap. That's my leg right there. This back here is a couch that's covered in towels. That's where Muppet lays. I'm surprised she wasn't up there, but that's where she lays down. Here he is up on my table. That's what he liked to do. He's sitting on my work because that's what he liked to do. And he would just look at me like, yeah. This was when I was filming Minding Your Muse. And so these are all characters from Minding Your Muse. And so he just got up and planted himself in the middle of all of that. Yeah, he did. And this was the day that I had a creative chat with Seth Apter. So we did this, a live creative chat, and Charlie was part of it. He was part of it. And then these were just extra ones. So I need 9 images. Let's see if I have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, and 2 extras. So I have enough. So my vision is to cut out the various Charlies and plant them in the various houses, you know, and then we'll just see how the canvas progresses. So that's my vision of what's going to happen. And so we'll see, you know, because every house needs a cat, so to speak. Yeah. Okay, so there you go. All right, I don't see anything else in the chat. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off for today. I've talked just about as much as I can talk. My voice is getting, honestly, my body is really getting tired. That's the truth of the matter. My body's getting tired. And I still have quite a bit of work I have to do today, and for the for the website and so forth, and emails and that kind of stuff I got to do today. Not your problem. It's mine. It is what I am privileged to get to do. I'm so glad that you joined me today. Thank you for celebrating Charlie's life. We probably will continue it next week if that's okay with you guys. And yeah, good memories, just super good memories. And I have another picture of him that I didn't get printed off for some reason. I don't know where that one went. I'll have to print this other picture off. It was the one I used on social media the other day. I don't know what I did with it. It's probably still on my desktop, or the printer ran out of paper. That's probably what happened, and it's waiting for me. Can you imagine a computer trying to boss me around? Anyway, yeah. So thank you for joining me. And those of you in the VIP group, I will send out your email later today. Don't look for it right now because I don't have it written. I still have to take a picture of the canvas, put it all together, send you an email. So it's going to be later, not sooner, later. Oh, I forgot to draw around one house. Oh well, I'll do it later. I can always do it later. All right, thank you for celebrating Charlie's life. He was a great sponsor of How to Get Creative. Fortunately, we still have Chance and we have Muppet, who may have to be an honorary sponsor. She may have to be a fill-in sponsor. And I will be back next week. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. It is a holiday weekend here. Please be safe. Please be careful. Watch out for the crazies. There's going to be a lot of drinking going on this weekend. So be careful. Take care of yourselves. Go out and look at the creation that is outside. It is amazing. The sunsets have been absolutely stunning lately. In fact, let me show you one that was last night. I told you I went to a football game. And this was the most incredible thing that I ever honestly saw. Truly. So I'm going to show this to you. Let me zoom in first. This is at the football stadium at the university here. And so you'll see kind of black and gold sort of stripes. That is the fan base in black and gold. They were supposed to have sections in black and sections in gold outfits to make the colors look neat. Look at that sunset. I did nothing to that picture. And we were sitting on the east side of the stadium, so I'm shooting into the west with my iPhone. That's like, I think, the press box, and I don't know what all is in that building. But look at that sunset. Just amazing. Yeah. So I can't even imagine. Yeah. I just don't have words for the amazing way that things look. So celebrate how wonderful the life is that we get to live. So go out and encourage other people, inspire other people, and then also remember to get creative today because it's easy. And I will be back here next week. I will see you then. So you guys have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for hanging out with me. Be sure you check out HowToGetCreative.com. If you don't have Mandala cards, we have those links in the description box below. The courses I do are linked below, all kinds of stuff. So I will see you later. Bye for now.